is it fair for men and women on dates to split the check? Well, some men think this is the right thing to do in light of women's equality. Now, one woman on TikTok has gone viral for listing the reason splitting the check is not fair. Take a look.
The fact that men expect 50-50 from women when women don't get 50% of anything. 50% of the money, 50% of the privilege, 50% of the safety, 50% of the space they're allowed to take up. None of that, but pay. Pay equal amounts, even though you don't have equal rights.
Ooh, what do you think, Jeff?
I'm not going there.
What do you think, Al? And then you jump in, Jeff.
Okay.
And then you jump in. Okay, well, Al, you're first.
I think this is the scary thing for people on dates, because especially if you're getting back into the dating pool now, it may have been like when I was young, you know, it was the man paid, and now I wouldn't be sure. So do you ask? Does that take it away? Does that make it awkward? If the date's going great, do you want to make it awkward and possibly ruin it? Will she be like, of course not, or of course? Like, either way, it's not going to be good. So Erica, how should a person that's not sure, what's maybe a good way to ask? Should you ask that before you go on the date? And should it be both ways? Maybe both parties ask, or I don't know.
And what do you think of her take? I'm curious. What do you think of the TikToker's take?
Sis told no lies and left no crumbs. Okay. I'm not really a great person to ask about dating protocols because I don't really have a ton of dating multiple people experience. But I will say that when I was 21 and dating, I did split majority of times. When I was 31 and dating, no. I'm not splitting with you, mainly because if you're asking me out and you're picking the place and you're making those decisions, okay, then I'm expecting you to pay. The reason is, if I asked you out and I picked the place and made those decisions, then yeah, I would be doing that. So I feel like she had a lot of really great points, and I think that when it comes to how a 31-year-old thinks versus how a 21-year-old thinks, there's a lot of differences in that.
I think Erica hit the nail on the head. It's who asked who. I think that's what it boils down to.
I think you should, listen, if I would pay. I'd pay. And I think it'd be nice if you really like someone and they were honestly like gesturing like, hey, do you want to split this? That would mean even more. You're not going to pay either way. If I liked you or didn't like you, I'm going to pay because I'm old school like that, and I think it's the right thing to do.
I'm the same way.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you got that genuine like, hey, do you want me to split this? You got one. You got a nice one, in my opinion.
And I think opening up the conversation, to me, would be okay. If somebody just kind of like sits back and like just expects.
That wouldn't be my type of person I get along with, right?
Either
like just
side.
I'm expected to do that, and you're not thankful. And then we wouldn't get along as people.
I'm right there
I would
with
take care of it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be offended if someone came to me and said, hey, you know, haven't been dating in a while. Do we split? Like, what do you prefer?
Right.
And I would actually feel closer to that person, that they feel like that they can speak about uncomfortable topics with me.
Right.
So I would just say to anybody out there that's newly dating, talk about it. And if the person's offended, then maybe that's not someone that can have
that's okay.
conversation.
I think the bigger point that things have changed is spontaneity is overrated. So the idea of like, I'm just going to go for the kiss, I don't think you should do that anymore. I think in 80s movies where, you know, you just go for it, that was like, that's not a thing anymore. So just talk about everything and it'll be good.
Love it.
There's also a vital takeaway in that. That's also the response to, that's kind of your introduction and how people feel and deal with money. So if it's something that someone comes to you and is very forthcoming and saying, hey, listen, I'd like to take you out, but do you mind if we go to this restaurant? Can we split it? Then it's setting the tone, and there's nothing, I'm not saying anything disparaging about that. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyone who has a financial mindset.
Sorry, Erica, we have a hard out. We'll be right back. Sorry, Erica.
Oh, yeah, sorry.